everyone, it's Wither here, and around me today is the fresh air of my newly built server. Yes, you heard me right, I built my very own server so that all of us can join together. I will place the link to it on the screen and in the description. And now, with that out of the way, let's start building the spawn hub. It is essentially where you will start off on the server, and I want to make it as spacious and warm as possible. What you're seeing right now is future me, and I will lead you to the very beginning. Remember that this is still a work in progress, so please leave your suggestions in the comments and I will consider implementing them. Let's start by building a pillar right in the middle. I want it to be fairly tall, so that your heads won't touch the ceiling. I try to play with as many blocks as possible, but I may snap back to monotonic colors every so often. So again, comment. I absolutely need your suggestions to make me a better builder. Alright, now that the central pillar is going up, let's take a moment to start going down. I mean, admire the view, the potential view specifically. Right now it's mostly tumbleweed rolling haphazardly, but hey, all great things start somewhere, right? I'm thinking this hub will have 4 main paths leading outwards, like compass points, each guiding you to a different biome. But before we get carried away exploring all these directions, I feel like a warm and comforting home should definitely have a propagate.
Propagate!
A place that says, "Welcome, miners and crafters," not 404, wrong server, get lost. Now, let's be honest, I'm building this in creative mode, so I'm not exactly sure on materials. But that doesn't mean I'll just throw things together randomly. Well, not too randomly. I want it to feel as thoughtful and polished as I can. This is actually the first time I've ever tried curved architecture in Minecraft, and let me tell you, it's way harder than it looks. If something comes out looking like a potato instead of a majestic archway, yeah, you know what to do. Roast me gently in the comments. I'll probably deserve it. As I build, I'm experimenting with lots of block combos, some classic, some a bit questionable. Sometimes I surprise myself with how good they look, and sometimes it's just, But hey, that's part of the fun. And the best part? You get to be part of this messy, creative chaos with me. So if you have any ideas, block palettes, lighting tricks, maybe even cool gate designs you've seen, don't hold back. I try to read every comment, even the ones that just say, "Add more trapdoors." But I will judge you. But seriously, I don't know what it is with trapdoors yet. But apparently you can slap one on anything and boom, instant detail. Now, what you've been watching so far has been sped up like a time-lapse. There are actually multiple reasons for that, and no, it's not just because I like to pretend I build super fast. The first reason is that I've been messing around with the vibrant visual settings. It makes everything look amazing, the lighting, the shadows, the colors, but it also absolutely tanks my FPS. Like I could probably run Minecraft smoother on a toaster at this point. You can actually see the drop in these clips here. It's like watching a slideshow at some parts. So yeah, time-lapse to the rescue. Secondly, and honestly more importantly, I don't always have a ton of things to say while building. I mean, I could narrate every block I place, but let's be real, that would sound like, "Now I place a stair. Now I rotate the stair. Oops, I broke the stair." So instead, I speed it up a bit and add some light fluff. Whatever random stuff comes to mind. It helps keep the video tight and probably entertaining. even when I'm just placing the 1991 block of pink stained glass. Plus, it saves you from watching me fumble with the same block orientations 10 times in a row. That said, if you do enjoy me suffer in real time, I could always make a longer uncut build video sometime. Or hey, maybe I'll do a real-time suffering compilation with dramatic music in the background. Would that be cursed content? Yes. Would it be kind of funny? Only very briefly, like what you just saw. But for now, I think this time-lapse format works best. It lets me focus on building without worrying about filling every second with words. Also, I tend to get weirdly focused while building, like stare at the screen and forget to blink focused. And I'm not sure that's the kind of intense gaming energy we need right now. So yeah, speed it up, keep it condensed. That said, if you ever do want a longer video where I just chat while building, maybe answer some questions, just let me know. I'm open to trying something new, except building underwater. That's where I draw the line. And even then, it will probably be crooked. But hey, I'm learning, slowly, painfully, and with a lot of trial and error. And if you've made it this far into the video, thanks for sticking around. Seriously, your support means the world. And speaking about the world, why in the world do I run out of storage space while I'm recording? Let me dump some footage and I'll be right back. My spawn hub design is inspired by castles. I plan to build 4 circular castle towers arranged in a square, with bridges connecting them across the top. Think of it like this, but with 4 towers instead of 2, excluding the massive slingshot, replacing the flags with Vietnamese flags, and less enclosed to allow more freedom. Each tower will serve a different purpose. Inside each tower, I plan to experiment with different styles to match their purpose. One might be for announcements and rules, another for portals or teleportation zones, a third for player showcases or fan art, and maybe the last one is just storage and random chaos. For now, that's still empty. Oh, and don't worry, I'll be adding plenty of lighting throughout. I want the spawn hub to feel cozy and safe, not like a mob magnet. The bridges connecting the towers will act as skywalks, letting you circle around the whole hub from above. And speaking about circles, there will be more of them later in this video. I'm also thinking about adding little balconies and window openings. I want those bridges to give players cool spots to hang out and maybe sneak peek views of the surrounding world, had it not been for the surrounding waters. Plus, the hub declutter the complex a bit, so the towers don't look like giant boring cylinders. As for the bridges, but not this bridge, I'm thinking of using a mix of sturdy stone and some wooden accents to add a bit of warmth and contrast. To get to the top of each tower, I'm using bamboo to build the stairs. It looks clean, it's easy to place, and it adds a nice contrast to all the heavy stone. Plus, we Vietnamese are quite familiar with bamboo. It's traditional and symbolizes strength, so hey, it fits. Now, while thinking about vertical movement, I decided to add a bit of fun. Some simple parkour leading up to the second story of the central tower. Don't worry, it's not one of those rage quit kind of parkours. In fact, It's so simple, you can literally just turn on auto jump and casually bounce your way up. Is it lazy design? Maybe. Is it genius? I don't know. I like to think of it as player friendly because nothing ruins a peaceful spawn hub experience like failing the same jump 6 times in a row while the whole server ridiculous from below. Now let's talk about the flag because every great castle needs a banner, right? And of course, mine has to be the Vietnamese flag. 8 of them to be exact. It's bold, iconic, and let's be honest, it's pretty easy to build in pixel art. Just red, orange, and yellow. The star was probably the trickiest part, not because it's complicated, but because making anything look good in Minecraft at this scale is basically a puzzle. You squint, rotate your head, rebuild it 3 times, and then finally just go, yep, that's close enough. I went with a scale of 11 blocks wide and 9 blocks tall, so that it's large enough to be seen from across the hub, but not so big it overshadows the towers. You know, balance. I also like that it adds some color to all the stone and bamboo. The red pops really nicely, especially when the sun hits it. Plus, it gives the whole spawn a bit of identity. This server has Vietnamese roots, and I'm proud of that. Anyway, that's the flag. Simple, strong, and absolutely not crooked. Yes, I say not crooked. The flag's just flying in the wind. Also, this is the template to build a Vietnamese flag by yourself if you are interested. Here, take a screenshot if you like. While you're doing that, let's return to the bamboo. If you didn't know, bamboo isn't actually wood. It's a type of grass. But not like lawn grass. This stuff can grow taller than a house. And fun fact, some types are stronger than oak wood. No one knows exactly when bamboo first appeared in Vietnam, but through old stories and legends, we know it's been around for thousands of years. Bamboo grows quickly, even in poor soil, and spreads fast. It covers the country from north to south. It's everywhere. In Vietnamese culture, bamboo symbolizes strength, flexibility, and endurance. It represents values like health, happiness, love, and prosperity. Even today, it's still used for everything from fences to fishing rods, and it once played a role in protecting the country from invaders. Before we had plastic or steel, bamboo was the go-to material, and even now, it hasn't disappeared. You'll still see bamboo chopsticks, mats, boats, containers, and more. And let's not forget, bamboo shoots are edible too. They're actually quite tasty. Alright, while the flag waves proudly above, let's move down to the center of the spawn hub. This time I'm building another circle! Apparently, this circle goes right in the middle of the square, made by the towers and their bridges. I wanted something that ties everything together. Not too flashy, just a clean, solid foundation that grounds the whole build. And this is truly where you'd like to hang out, as far as I imagine. This circle will be accessible by many flights of stairs connecting to the bridges, which also enhances rigidity and gives the whole hub a more connected feel, almost like a reinforced web of pathways. The circle also helps break up the flatness in the center, gives a bit more shape, and leaves space for decorations later on. And for lighting, I'm going with shroomlight surrounded by diorite. It's bright, it glows nicely, and let's be real, it just looks cool. These little touches make the whole hub feel more alive, even before any players show up. For the detailing, I used mangrove wood for that warm reddish contrast against all the grey stone. It softens the look and makes the spawn feel more welcoming. I also threw in some shroom lights to brighten things up without relying on torches everywhere. I love how the soft glow bounces off the wood and stone. Subtle lighting makes such a big difference in making the space feel alive. Once the circle in the middle was done, I built 4 balconies connecting it to the surrounding bridges, one in each direction, like spokes in a wheel. They give structure, symmetry, and a sense of flow, letting you walk from any tower straight into the center. I try to keep the designs balanced with some fences, open spaces, but nothing too busy. These balconies are for people to hang out, take in the view, or fall off dramatically while typing in the chat. It's all part of the experience. By this point, the circle really started to feel like the meeting part of the whole spawn hub, and the bridges and balconies made it feel like a proper network, not just a pile of towers. Of course, if something's floating in Minecraft, you either call it magic or build some more pillars. I went with the second option. I built sturdy supports under the circle to make it feel grounded, both visually and structurally. I kept the palette consistent, but added a few extra details here and there to make it look reinforced, not just stacked. They also make the underside feel more complete, not like something I forgot to finish, which okay, sometimes I do, but not this time. And yes, we're back to flags, because you know what this one hub needs, more Vietnam. I added a few more flags in different locations, some on towers, some near the edges, just to spread that identity a little further. And with that, the spawn is really starting to feel alive. Bridges, lights, towers, flags, and all. Are you curious about the meaning of the Vietnamese flag? The red background of the flag stands for the revolution and the blood of the heroes. The yellow star represents the spirit of the nation, and its 5 points stand for the 5 classes that joined the revolution: scholars, farmers, workers, traders, and soldiers, united in the fight for freedom. It's simple, powerful, and full of meaning. Hopefully, this meaningfulness can bridge the gap between video games and real life. And speaking about bridges, let's go ahead and finish connecting them to the circle. Honestly, this is the part that really ties everything together, both literally and visually. You can now walk from any tower to the middle without falling into a moat, which never existed, but still. With the bridges done, I dropped down below to place lots of post pillars. I like doing these at the end because it feels like locking the whole structure into place. And finally, a simple fence around the circle. It's not just for decoration, it keeps players from walking straight off the edge while admiring the view. Safety first, even in Minecraft.